Hello guys, Frost here. So today we are continuing on the Defender and gearing and everything else that we need to know. So we are going to check out the Defenders. So if we look at here, like this is my Regulus. So the most important thing that I'd say that the beginning thing should be when you're gearing your tank is that you should have the Guardian set on, because this 15% damage reduction is taken into account before everything else, I think, or like it's doing 15% of reduction, so it's not adding on some other reduction that you already have. So I noticed this when doing artifact material raid, that I can have my fighters with a lot less HP and survive Salazar ultimate, or now the blob, whatever the name is, the boss, than if they had the normal set. So normal set would require me to have like 40k HP, and this set would require me to have like a need for like 34 or something like that. So I noticed that they can survive with much less HP. So this is contributing a lot toward your damage mitigation. So the other thing depends on the tank's skills and what you want to do with the tank. So if the tank has something that when he attacks, then he can CC. In that case, you can decide to give the tank the attack speed. So good example for that is Livian. So I have 300 additional attack speed on top of 60k HP, but only 1300 defense. So we are compensating on having too much defense to have that defense, because I'm running her next to Aracha, and we want to kill stuff as soon as possible and crowd control until killed. So that's why this is something that I'm trying at the moment. And so the first thing should be having a Guardian set. Even if you have like HP and like one defense, still fine, you know. Like that's the first best thing that you can do. The beginning set that you have is occult shield. That one gives a 10% reduction, so that's of course good, but 15 is better. So this you should have in the beginning. Later on you should transition to this. Additional note for early players is you can get this set that is yellow, that will provide good bonus stats now if you start new account. So you will have everything purple, so all the stats will be predetermined, and that's really good because you will have really good stats for your defender, and you don't have to like get bazillion PCs as I had to get my stats to be good. So that's good thing that you can do. That's like the first, and then you should decide on which type of a defender it is. So if it's like an Oleg, he doesn't care about rage. You don't want to use this because this is better than this, and you need to know how it works. So for this one, I don't want this to be increased, because he will do less of this if he is to use this skill. Because if I send him into guild battles, he will automatically use his ultimate when ready. But then if it lasts if it's shorter, and if it needs more rage, it's going to be cast less often. So more often I'll have this up. But then there's a thing that this can help your ally. So if you're counting on that you can increase the. But if I get second Oleg, I'll get him at max skill and Awakening 5. And then when you see that he has nothing else, so he just needs to tank and he needs a lot of HP and defense. So you just build him as HP and defense. You don't look for the attack speed. For some reason he has some, but not on purpose. And then if you look someone like Isolde, she gets rage when she attacks, and same as Regulus. But he gets 6 extra rage every 4 basic attacks. So this is 12 at 4. So meaning 1 is 3 rage. But Isolde, I think it's a bit better. And 1 time 12 block 10 8 rage. So then you can maybe decide to get a bit attack speed on them. But best example would be Livian, because she stuns with a first attack, and the others are just tanks. And then you have someone that can stun with their auto attacks, and then they could be benefiting a lot from the attack speed, as you can see, and not that much from the defense and HP. And then we have like healers. So for healers, depending on how you're gonna use them, so if you use them that they are not going to take damage, you can make them as glass cannony as possible, and not worry about other stats. But if you want them to take some damage, then you can build some HP on them. So I swapped my constants attack, and then I went HP. I had because I want to get other stats as well. So she's going to be solo healer, so I want her to have a bit more attack speed and at least some healing, because those stats are really beneficial to have them at least a little bit. That's when they are the most beneficial. Then they hit the diminishing return as more as you have them. And then there's like Baron, that like he's a weaker version of Brokir or Regulus. Brokir. Basically, so shield and then Undying. So basically you just want defense on him and HP, and maybe focus more on HP, because he does damage based on his HP, how big the shield is. So and then you have like a variety. So she can heal and tank. So like Constance is made for healing, she's a tank, but she's healer booster, sort of. But Mariel, she's like a tank, but she can heal. And then we have Titus, because he cannot heal himself, so he's like the most unique one. How you gonna build him? So I still didn't get to building him, playing him, so I wouldn't be confident in recommending what you should do, but yeah, he's like a special case. And then we have like the battling battle type tanks. Sorry, that's like OCD. When I see red there, I have to click it. So for them, then you want to have a lot of HP, and you want to have tanky stats, but you want a lot of damage as well. So the type are like Cyrus. For him, he still needs a lot of HP, because skeletons gonna tank depending on their HP, but you want him to dish out some damage. Additionally, the game wants you to try to look into building more defense and not focus just on HP. Because at the moment we are all HP based, and then we're just looking for defense in substats, and that's it. But game wants us to focus on defense more, and they put up some posts and stuff like that showing it's not bad. But we have to get into the consideration that when healing, normally restores HP based on the target's max HP. So it's not just how much damage you will take. Maybe the defense is better in that way, but if you have higher HP, then the healer is gonna heal you higher. So more benefit there, you know. So the heals will be higher the more HP you have. The problem with focusing on defense, there are defenders that can have damage based on defense. So for them, then it's an obvious choice to go for defense. But even then, I would think twice before going for defense. And the reason why is if you go for defense, defense can cap. So meaning you cannot block 100% of the damage that the enemy is doing to you. So there's like hard cap at some point. And I don't know if there's like a diminishing returns, because stuff like that we cannot see, unfortunately. We have to test out. But then you don't know for one content, like for example, guild boss and almost everything else, gear rates. So if you're doing progression through gear rates, you want your DPS to have crit, attack. But then if you're doing a guild boss has not so much defense, and you're almost always gonna have Dolores up. So how you wanna gear your DPS is attack, crit damage. And you don't need as much attack to overcome the defense. You're gonna have a lot of attack from Dolores most of the fight. When you have your ultimates, for sure, because you're gonna plan them to use them on the ultimate setup. So you're making your DPS gear differently depending on the content you do. But having now to swap the tanks to looking like, should I need more defense now, less defense now, I think it's easier to just build them max HP and then get the subs defense, and then the third sub you get something that you think is useful for them. So maybe that's like attack or attack speed or rage regen for some it's healing. Some need a bit more of everything, but then you decide to have less of the defensive stats. So depending how you're gonna use them and where you're gonna use them, you can decide on that. But I think the best thing is like going defense, and what at least they're getting through is that defense is not so much weaker than going just for HP, so having defensive main on one is perfectly fine. So don't have to stress much about it for all of them to have to be HP. So yeah, that's pretty much it now for the artifacts. This is now the interesting part where you can have some variability. So if you don't have much of many enemies to tank, I think this is one of the better ones, especially if you have shields. You want to have more defense. Then, for example, more healing received. This is better for someone like Livian. She doesn't have shields, so you want her to receive more healing because she does have a lot of defense and then physical reduction from her ultimate. But then some DPSing tanks can have the DPS artifact, but I never used them. I didn't have any defenders that are really good on damage part. But then the most used and like the best thing to use is probably Oleg Wall, because most of the time in guild battles and in some campaigns and Void Rift, you're gonna have multiple enemies coming that you cannot kill ASAP because you need ultimates ready and everything else. So then you will be needing to have extra block, and that's like really good. But then on the other side, you maybe decide to have 2 tanks in like your guild battle defense, and then you don't want for Oleg Wall. Why? Because you're tanking 1 extra enemy, and then that tank needs to take more damage, because like this will give you 20% damage reduction, but if you don't have this 20% damage reduction, you can have like increased defense, let's say, or healing from this if you have a lot of attack speed, or just extra healing if you don't have a lot of HP, or you can have like an emergency heal once per deployment, or over the time healing depending on the use, and then you're taking full damage there, but from one less enemy, so that's 33% less damage taken on that tank, and then the enemies are going to go to the second tank, but that depends on your tactics, how you want to deal with the defense. So that's the interesting part, and like this is really good artifact to have, and the reason why is that you can use it in places where your tank will probably die or will not have a healer available pretty quick. So this increases defense right away, and then gives a one-time heal. So pretty good, right? And then this can be really good as well, and giving just stats if you are not going to run a leg wall and don't need this defense. This can be a good choice as well. So that's depending on how you're gonna use your tanks. For example, as you see here, I use the defense one on my Constance, because I don't want her to tank 4 enemies. She's gonna die. She's not as tanky as Livian, but if she needs to tank 1 or 2 enemies, I want her to have high defense so she can survive at least 1 or 2 enemies. She's a bit tanky, but yeah. And those are the choices, and the interesting thing about a game that's left for us late game, and for you early gamers as well, that are new to this. So yeah, consider your choices, look into the defenders, and don't miss out on Livian. She is really good in her own right. No one is perfect for everything, but they're all different. Of course, legendary tanks are pretty good, like Regulus and Brokir. They are broken, but if you don't have them, the other ones are good as well. Oleg we all get for free, so make that be your priority to get. Anyways, guys, in the end, when we catch them all, we still need to play the game, so keep some crystals for stamina. Don't spend all on summoning. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.